Let's talk about holiday gatherings. And, we're in the middle of holiday season. Why is this a critical time during the pandemic?
Yeah, it's a great question. This is the time where we gather, right? It's over the Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. It's really the time people travel. A lot of people go home or come home for Christmas, come home for the holidays, gather with their families. So there's a lot of travel. There is a lot of getting together. In South Dakota, it's always done inside because typically the weather's a lot worse than it's been. Uh, and so that, we normally see a bump in respiratory infections and other things this time of year because of that, because people are traveling and they're on airplanes and they're in cars and they're visiting people that they haven't been around. So they kind of share their bugs. So we do know that this is normally a time where transmission of respiratory infections can occur more readily. And so with COVID, which we know is transmitted by respiratory droplets, is certainly problematic. And I would tell you that Thanksgiving was one of those areas where we just kind of held our breath to see what would happen. Lots of effort on everybody's part to kind of talk about mitigating the risk by maybe not traveling this year, maybe just getting together with the people that are in your immediate household, maybe not having those large extended family gatherings. I think it helped. I think a lot of people heeded that advice and tried their best to mitigate things. I don't think we're seeing a surge upon the surge post Thanksgiving like we feared. Now it's a little early in terms of hospitalizations in that post Thanksgiving timeframe because typically it's 3 to 7 days after the holiday you start to see that infection rate rise. It's more like 7 to 20 days after that you start to see the hospitalization rate rise because people get sick, they're sick for a while. Again, most people get better, right? They get sick, they get sick for a while, and then they get better. But there are always a few that end up in the hospital, and that occurs later in the illness process, no matter what the illness is, whether it's influenza, RSV, or in this case, COVID. And so it's a little early, but I think the good news is we're not seeing a huge surge after Thanksgiving. I'm hoping that people will continue to heed that advice that we really put out there pre-Thanksgiving and continue that through the holiday season.
Well, I know a lot of people are looking to rearrange their plans. Do you have any advice or tips to celebrate safely over the holidays?
Yeah, I think it's kind of what we did for Thanksgiving. It's, try to get together with your immediate household, the people you're around all the time anyway in your household, I think is a good idea. You can be safe with them or at least minimize the risk. I think this is not the year to have everybody from all parts of the country travel and gather in one spot and have that big family reunion / Christmas get together. Or even all parts of the state for that matter. I think this is the year to maybe say, let's try to subdue it. Let's do some Zoom meetings like we're doing today. Let's do some Skype or WebEx. There's lots of platforms we can use. I think that's great. The technology is certainly something I think we can all use, FaceTime or whatever. And then I think a lot of it is, as you do get together and as you do travel, if you can do outside things, that helps, and the weather's sure cooperating so far. Who knows what it'll be in a few weeks. It's South Dakota. It could be way different tomorrow. But I do think, just some common sense. Wash your hands. When you do go out to the stores and you're out and about, put a mask on. It decreases the amount of respiratory droplets that we're all spreading whenever we talk. I'm in my office by myself, as are you, I'm sure. And so I don't need to wear a mask here. There's nobody else here. But if I go out into the hall or I go into the other conference room, if I'm going into a store to get something, I put my mask on. I'm just trying to prevent spreading it to anybody if I have the virus and don't know it. And if others would do that, then there's less chance that any of us will get the virus. So.
Yeah, it takes a community effort during a
It really
pandemic.
does.
That's
Yeah.